Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me up. Thanks for having me up here. How many people have faced adversity in their life? Divorce, business that failed, something went wrong, friends die. It happens. And so today I want to talk about how to overcome that stuff and how to face adversity head on like a lion. Because I believe adversity is the road to success. So we're going to face obstacles. Everything that can go wrong does go wrong. I've been building businesses since I was a little kid. My parents were divorced. I grew up in a neighborhood of all organized crime. Friends got killed. They went to jail. And once you face that, once you accept that you are going to face resistance on a daily basis, you accept it, get excited about it, life becomes easy. The problem is that normal is changing. Right? Every generation that goes by gets a little easier, gets a little softer, takes care of their kids in a way that is very coddling. And so we're not prepared to deal with all this stuff. First thing you got to do in life, whether you're tackling a business, whether you're interviewing somebody, whether you're in a relationship, is commit. You got to define your values and beliefs. In our races, we have a spear throw. And I like to say that your values are the target. Like, I want to be the healthiest guy ever, or I want to be a family man, or whatever it is, you're going to define yourself with your values. Your beliefs are the spear. And if they don't line up, you're not going to hit your target. What do I mean by that? If you believe it's okay to smoke, if you believe it's okay to flirt with women, but you value a great relationship, you value being healthy, your spear is not going to hit the target. You got to commit. You got to make sure your beliefs and values line up. That's step one. Step two, you got to define your true north. What do I mean by that? Where are you going in life? If you want to be the greatest mountain climber ever, I climbed the mountain Aconcagua down in South America. And my whole life I've been preaching and learning this idea that you don't quit. Right? We've all heard that, don't quit. Stay on the course, no matter what goes wrong, get it done. Climbing this mountain, I'm 8 days in, and we're 100 yards from the top and a lightning storm breaks out. They tell us we got to sit there for a day, and a day turns into 2 days, and a day turns into 3 days. I thought to myself, you know what? I don't want to be the greatest mountain climber that ever lived. That's not my true north. I want to be with my wife and my kids. I want to be a family man. I made the decision to get off the mountain. And it wasn't that I was fearful of climbing that mountain, or whatever it may be. It was that my true north wasn't to be the greatest mountain climber that ever lived. So you have to define what your true north is. I interviewed a guy who had done 9 Tour de France races. And I said, hey, was it tough to get into EPO or performance-enhancing drugs? And he said, no, it was really simple. My true north was to be a person that I could look back, that when I died, people would talk about me in this light. And so when the opportunity came in to take the drugs, it was really simple to give the answer that, no, I'm not, that's not my true north. You got to commit. You got to define your true north, and that's going to guide you in life. This is what I was talking about before. Normal is changing, right? Years ago, we had lots of grit and determination, and we had very low expectations. Walk out of a cave in the morning, just hope you didn't get eaten by a lion. Just wanted the sun to rise. Today, I've heard this before from comedians, if there's not Wi-Fi in an airplane, flipping out. Right? Here's a better slide that explains that. Look, 100, 200 years ago, huge tolerance for pain, very low expectations. Today, massive expectations. Got to have Wi-Fi on the plane, got to have peanuts, all the things you want, and low tolerance. I was on a flight. I live in Japan now. My secretary screwed things up, and I got a secretary. See how soft I'm getting? And she puts me on a flight that takes double the time that it should. It was a 13-hour flight. I ended up flying for 26 hours. I went through Hong Kong. It was an absolute disaster. But I couldn't get upset because I kept thinking, 100 years ago, I would be on a boat. boat would take 100 days. 10% of the people would die. Sharks changed their migratory patterns. They follow the boats because so many people were getting thrown overboard because they were sick and dying. How could I possibly complain in this perfectly safe, healthy airplane, Wi-Fi or no Wi-Fi, and it was going to land, right? So the point is, let's get back to the old days. Let's have a really high tolerance for really low expectations. Change your frame of reference. Years ago, I hired people from Eastern Europe. And in Eastern Europe, they fight for milk, or at least they did, 15, 20 years ago, every day. And there was nothing that I could throw at them. If we were going to work on Saturday, or we had to stay late, or payroll was a day late, it didn't upset them. They were just happy, just give me more hours. I just want more work. They were fighting for milk every day. So it's important that we change our frame of reference. We're going to be successful in life, in marriage, or whatever it is, because you're less likely to get upset when the going gets tough. As I said, delayed gratification. What do I mean by that? I was just talking to this gentleman down here earlier today, and talking about this blog you guys should look up called "Will It Make the Boat Go Faster?" So there was a crew team, UK, going to compete in the Olympics in rowing. There was no chance they were going to win. Captain of the team decided that for the next 3.5 years, they were going to do was every decision they made, they were going to ask themselves, will it make the boat go faster? In other words, guys, let's go out for ice cream tonight, or let's go partying, let's go to the movies. They asked themselves the question, make the boat go faster? The answer was no, they were not going to embark on whatever that was. So what I propose to you, and I do this, is don't waste time. Don't take the cookie. Don't take the marshmallow. How many of you know the marshmallow? Years ago, Stanford University, Professor Mischel puts a bunch of kids in cubicles. And he puts a marshmallow in each cubicle. And he tells the kids, you can have a marshmallow now, or a cookie, or you can wait, and when I get back, I'll give you 2. As you can imagine, most kids eat the marshmallow or the cookie. Kids that waited, they followed for 30 years along with the kids that didn't wait. What they found was that those kids had better SAT scores, they had better marriages, they had better jobs, everything in their life was better. So the ability to delay gratification and ask yourself, will it make the boat go faster, changes your life. Here's a trajectory of a marriage or a race or starting a business or interviewing somebody. It starts out with commitment. We talked about that, right? I'm going to run 26.2 miles. I'm going to do a marathon. I'm committed. I tell all my friends. Now I got to delay gratification. I got to wake up earlier than I planned on waking up. I got to go to bed earlier than I planned on going to bed. I got to not have that extra glass of wine. Then I face disillusionment. I'm about 3 weeks into the training. It absolutely sucks. I want to go drinking. My friends are telling me I couldn't make this thing, right? I couldn't get this done. So I'm thinking about quitting. And what happens? In the middle of the race, I'm at mile 15 and I'm broken. My feet are killing me. There's no way I'm going to get this done. Or you're 2 years into your marriage or relationship, whatever it is, right? And you're at that low point. You want to quit, and the naysayers are piling on top. I believe that right at that moment, your frame of reference dictates whether you're going to finish or you're going to quit. Right? That moment right there, that decision is dictated by frame of reference. And so what I do to change my frame of reference, because I'm not Eastern European, I didn't grow up 100 years ago, and I do fly in an airplane, and I do have a secretary, is I embark on purposeful suffering. I wake up in the morning and I do 300 burpees. I carry a kettlebell around with me when I travel. I do things that suck. I take cold showers because I want to get myself closer to a place where what it was like, 100 years ago. So that when I hit those low points, which we all hit, because I asked you, you raised your hand, I'm most likely not going to quit. I'm going to push through. Not done yet, not done yet, not done yet. You guys are looking to get rid of me, hang on. Here's Amanda Sullivan. She's done, I don't know, 30 or 40 of our races. You know Amanda? So Amanda's unbelievable, right? She's down doing some great charity work in South America. Comes home on vacation. She gets run over by a car. She ends up in the hospital. She's in the hospital for a month. She comes out of the hospital. She's smiling through the whole thing. She's got an incredible personality. And she's walking out of the hospital. Car runs her over again. Ends up in the hospital for a year. And she comes to grips with this whole thing. And she goes through that whole process we talked about, right? She has a low point. She learns who she is. She learns to delay gratification. And she just learns to live with it. Now done 20 Spartan races. She lifts people up not only on the course, but we put out videos with. I mean, she is so inspirational. And so, prior to her accidents, right, prior to what I just described, she probably had a really low tolerance for pain. She probably had really high expectations. So I implore everybody here and everybody we talk to and the million people we have doing the races that embark on some purposeful suffering, because this shit does happen. You least expect it, and God forbid anybody get hit by a car. I'm not saying that, but things do go wrong, and so you got to be prepared for the worst. I'll give you my story quick if you guys not throwing me off stage yet. I grew up in Queens. I grew up in Howard Beach. It was organized crime capital of the world. My neighbor was the head of the Banana organized crime family. He had a couple of daughters. He had no son. He took me in under his wing. He saw my family was having some really tough times. My parents got divorced, and he helped me start a pool business. Before you know it, I had a couple of organized crime customers, and I had some more, and eventually I had 700 customers by the time I graduated college. Pretty big business. And had met an older guy at school, college, and he begged me to go to Wall Street, to give up that business and get away from all those crazy people. Eventually helped me land a job on Wall Street. Well, as you can imagine, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. I was supposed to sell the pool business, and it ended up getting sold, and the organized crime guys that I thought were my good friends and customers ended up taking it and lost a bunch of money on Wall Street, but bounced back. And along the way, I found adventure racing, crazy races. You know the Iditarod? Anybody know the Iditarod, the dog sled race across Alaska? I did that race by foot. 30 below, waist-deep snow, 9 days out there. It was terrible, right? Hit an absolute low point. But that's when I started to learn some of this stuff that I just shared with you, that get back to a place where you just want water and shelter. You're a much more powerful person. You get through anything in life. You don't get upset at the small stuff. Got through adventure racing, moved to Vermont, bought a farm. My wife and I, we have 4 children. My oldest is 10 years old, and we started Spartan Race. Now all the stuff I'm talking to you about, we're doing people around the globe. That's Spartan strength, right? So that's the stuff I'm talking about. If you take anything away from this, it's commit to whatever it is. Commit to relationship. Commit to whatever it is in life. The business, the interview, the traveling around the world for 10 years, as this young gentleman did. Learn to delay gratification. The only thing we have in life is time. Don't waste time. Sure, whatever you're doing is making the boat go faster, whatever that means in your life. Change your frame of reference. Do some burpees. Take a cold shower. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. And I'm just a maniac. Like Sunday night, get to bed early, right? Get your shit organized. Early to bed, early to rise. You know what to do. You guys get this. Anyway, that's my talk. These are drunk Spartans over here. We could do a couple of questions if you guys have any questions, because I went too fast. Anything? Make up a question, something. Started the races in Vermont on the farm. Guy's a maniac. Yeah, I had this idea that wanted to change lives, wanted to put people through that little program, and 700 people showed up to the first race. And you could just look out at the crowd that it was life-changing. So it grew from there, race after race after race. Question is, what's the hardest course out there? Is probably Vermont. Probably Vermont. Vermont is a, did it. He did it. He's tough. All right. He's tough. Anything? So, what's the advice for somebody who wants to be a Spartan? First of all, everybody in this crowd is a Spartan. If God forbid, think about this, guys. If God forbid we were on a bus right now and we were going to the Strip, we were going somewhere, and the bus broke down, get out of the bus, and if you had to, you walk 26 miles to safety. Like, everybody in this room could do much more than you can imagine. We learn helplessness. We no longer take stairs, we take escalators. I was at a big fitness seminar. There must have been 500 trainers at the seminar. There was a staircase and there was an escalator. Every one of the fitness people took the escalator. We learn helplessness, and so you got to get yourself I'm carrying around a kettlebell. That's my new thing. It sucks. It's 44 pounds, but I'm turning life into my workout. Carry this thing around. And so do something. Get yourself out of your comfort zone. Don't turn the air conditioner on. That might be the start. Sweat a little. You're gonna boo me off stage. Air conditioner. We're not shutting the air conditioner off. Crazy? Guy's nuts. What made me think about converting this into a business? Well, I'm an entrepreneur since I'm 10 years old, but if I could do this one for free, I would do this for free. If we could charge zero and make it work, I would, but it just doesn't work that way. Everybody wants to get paid, the employees, the real estate that we rent. It's awesome when you're doing something in life that's purposeful. Pool business wasn't really purposeful. Wall Street wasn't really purposeful. Kind of felt cool having a farm in Vermont, but this is fucking awesome. I mean, this is awesome. So.